Chris, what is our fourth main topic today?
This is from Ahmal. John, yes, please do your chart for the Doctor Strange cameos. I think my picks will be Mr. Fantastic, Captain Marvel, and Bruce Banner. Thank you for all you do. I've been watching for 4 years now, and I love the show. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Ahmal. Appreciate that very much. And yes, yesterday on the John Campea Shows, we were talking about Doctor Strange. We said, you know what? We've done this for a couple of the other shows. We should do a breakdown of a little chart, if you will, of the potential cameos and what we think the likelihood, however big or small, the likelihood of those cameos coming to pass. And I thought it might be a good idea for us to jump in and do that. So we said we would do that yesterday, and that's what we're going to do. Now, here's how it's going to work. We are going to bring up a potential cameo, and then Rob, Chris, and I, Erin's recusing herself from this one here. Rob, Chris, and I will give it 1 of 5 ratings. Either a no, possibly, 50-50, likely, or absolutely. So instead of just giving the numeric values, because I find too often we say 100 or 0. So instead of just giving numeric values, we're going to say either we're going to mention a potential cameo. We will each give it either a no, a possibly, 50-50, likely, or absolutely. And those are the ratings we're going to give it. So with that down, let's get into it here, shall we? We're going to start off with one that I brought up the other day. We're going to start off with Ben Affleck's Daredevil. Ben Affleck's Daredevil. Now, I was a little bit more sure about this yesterday. I'm going to lower it a little bit, and I'm going to give this one not a no, but I'm going to give it a possibly. I'm not going to go as high as a 50-50 on this one, but I think Ben Affleck is Daredevil possibly. Chris, what would you give it?
Hard no.
Hard no. Just not going to happen on that one.
I don't think so.
Rob?
I'm going to give it a possibly like you.
You're going to give it a possibly as well? What do you think? Why hard no?
I think he's just, he's got to do all of his Batman stuff. I think audiences are already too confused about who the heck is Batman. He shows up as Daredevil. We're all going to be like, what the hell is happening?
Couldn't it be, you know what? I didn't get treated right over there at DC. I'm going to show you what I can do over at Marvel.
That's fair.
And I was Daredevil before, too. I know. So there's, okay. What do you guys think in the live chat? Talk amongst yourselves. What do you think about that? All right. Now we're going to go over to Captain Carter. To me, I'm going to go with the absolutely on this. Now, look, just because Captain Carter's, a reflection of Captain Carter's shield is in the poster, that doesn't mean 100%, but I think it's close to it. So I don't think you put that shield in there if you're not going to have her in there. So that's why I'm going to go with the A on that absolutely. Chris, what about you?
A for absolutely.
You're going to go A for absolutely. Mm-hmm. Rob?
Absolutely.
Why is that?
Well, because I think that the response that you got from her in What If, I think they know that I mean, come on, there's a hot toy that's going to be made of her. That everyone likes Agent Carter. I think people wanted to have her in, and she's, after all, Steve Rogers' love interest. Haley Atwell's been in part of the MCU for a long time. I'm sure she's beloved by the people that actually make these movies. And she looks, well, I want to see the live action version of her because that costume is badass.
Well, I think it's going to be animated. I don't even think it's going to be live action, but you think it could be live action?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. All right. You think it's going to be live action too?
I think so too.
So I think it's going to be animated. I think they're going to do animated on that. All right. Next one. We're going to talk about Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. All right. Hugh Jackman has said directly for years and years and years and years, he's done. That Logan thing, the movie Logan was the perfect send-off. I'm done. But this is Multiverse of Madness. So I'm going to go as high as a possibly, like under 50-50, but I'm going to go as high as a possibly that maybe they could talk him into it. Chris, what do you think about the idea of Hugh Jackman Wolverine's popping up and why?
Possibly, especially if he could hold it over Ryan's head and be like, guess who's in this one, motherfucker?
Guess who got in the MCU before you did?
Exactly.
Rob, what do you think?
What is above 50-50?
Likely.
I'm going to go with likely.
You're going to go that high?
I'll tell you why. Because in Logan, it was Xavier and Logan were together. And I think that dynamic, this could be pre-Logan, call it what you want, but Hugh Jackman does not have to get, jacked to play Logan in this movie. We're not going to see him without his shirt off. He's not going to come in, with with adamantium claws blazing, he can be wearing a black suit like he wore in The Wolverine when he went to Japan. And him and Xavier have this relationship. I could absolutely imagine seeing Hugh Jackman, because I'd love to see more interaction with him and Patrick Stewart, and they could have a lot of fun together. I think he's going to be in it.
All right. And I mean, don't forget, I mean, we know that Patrick Stewart is going to be there. So, I mean, hey, that happens to that. All right. So 2 possiblies and a likely. Rob skipping way up there. All right. How about this one? Chris Evans is the Human Torch, the character he played in the Fantastic Four. This is a multiverse of madness. I don't know. You know what? I'm going to go, as yummy as this is, I'm going to go no. I don't think he's going to do it. I think he's more than, I don't think Chris Evans would want to come back in the character. I'm not saying that it couldn't be a thought that crosses Kevin Feige's mind, but I don't see Chris Evans going for it. So I'm just going to go with a straight up no for Chris Evans as Human Torch. What about you, Chris?
I think it'd be hilarious, but no.
All right, you're going to go with the no. Rob, what about you?
Absolutely not, because it would break the fourth wall, and I think it would shatter the mood that they're trying to create.
All right, so we're going to go no on that. Well, let's stick with Chris Evans. What about his Cap? Chris Evans, Captain America, the greatest character we've had in the MCU up till now. See, this, like we talked about a story about 8 months ago where we've heard that Chris Evans isn't done with the MCU yet. That there was that report that came out of Deadline that he is actually very quietly signed a new deal to do something. Now, what that is or whatever, we don't know. But Chris Evans is Captain America. To even have somebody like Doctor Strange or Wanda, because remember how close Wanda was, like other than Clint, Cap is the one she's closest to. I mean, obviously other than Vision, but so I'm going to go as high as a 50% chance. I'm going to say this is a 50-50 draw on this one of him showing up as Captain America. All right, Chris, what about you? Chris Evans is Captain America.
I'm going to say likely.
Oh, you're going to go higher than me.
Yeah, because we do know that, Peggy as Captain Carter does have Steve still in her life and all of those things. Like we see the character in What If, right? And also, if we're going into some House of M territory, I think that also opens up Cap having lived his life, never receiving the serum, possibly seeing that version of him too.
Which is kind of a sort of a version that we got in the What If series, right? Mm-hmm. Rob, what do you think? The possibilities of Chris Evans as Captain America in this movie?
Absolutely.
Oh, you're going even higher.
Absolutely.
Why's that?
Because of Captain Carter's presence. I don't think their relationship is too important to the MCU. I think, you know what, we've never seen a scene in live action with them together other than them dancing like that. I think that we're going to see, but we're going to see them together somehow.
All right. Let's move on to this
Their
one.
love endures.
A lot of rumors about this one. Deadpool. Of course, we know Deadpool is coming into the MCU. That's a understood fact. Going to be the one and probably only R-rated thing that Marvel does. A lot of talk about Deadpool showing up in this. I am going to give this one an absolute no. And I'll say this, and I probably shouldn't, but he damn well better not be, because I told everybody there was zero chance that Deadpool was going to be in this. And the reason I told people that there was a zero chance was because the guy who gave me this gin told me that Deadpool was not going to be in this. So I'm going to go with no, Deadpool is not in this, but I continue to hear rumors, so it better be no. Anyway, Chris, what do you think? Deadpool in this movie?
I think one of the reasons why this little booze genie gave us all this gin is because maybe he's a liar. I don't know. Are you? So I'm gonna go just middle of the road, 50-50 on this one.
You're gonna go 50 on this one. Okay. Rob, what about you? Awkward silence.
I'm going to go with Chris on this, because I'll tell you something. What character represents madness or mirth or like, and I would love to see Stephen Strange and Wade trade some words, trade some barbs. And I can only imagine just the lines of dialogue just between the two of them, sizing each other up, putting each other down, and even if it's only for a minute, and Deadpool's like, where the hell am I? What is this? Something. I think he's going to be in the movie. And if he's not in the proper version, if he's not in the movie proper, he's going to be in an end credit sequence. Or if we've thought if Wanda does bring back the mutants, he's going to be in that scene.
Ooh.
Okay, I'm going to continue to believe that nope, zero chance. He ain't going to be in it. Because damn it, that's what I was told. All right. Loki. Now we're talking about the multiverse of madness. We got introduced to, again, there's some big question marks. What's the difference between multiverse, true multiverse, and whatever it was they talked about in Loki? There's a lot of discussion because there's some apparent contradictions, but whatever it is, it's still kind of similar, at least in theme, right? So Loki popping up in this. Listen, Tom Hiddleston's a popular character in these things. I don't think we've heard anything about it, but I'm going to go as high as a possible, not 50-50, but I'll go possible that Loki pops up in this. Chris, what about you?
I'm going to say no. And I only think that because I think seeing him now will cheapen the moment where he's reunited with Thor.
Oh, okay. All right. Rob, what about you? Loki popping
I'm
up.
with Chris on this one.
You're going to know.
There's a Thor movie coming out 2 months after this. So why, shoot your wad?
That being said, didn't we have like a Black Panther movie and an Infinity War movie that came out just months apart?
Yep.
Okay. But still, this is a little bit different than with Loki and the brother angle there. All right. How about this one? Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire?
I had to
Either.
take a moment and I was like, why would that cat be in this movie?
Garfield the cat, voiced by Bill Murray.
Zero gin. I'm still like, it's that cat who likes lasagna.
Bill
Where's
Murray.
that lasagna?
You know what? Considering that, although very, very briefly, these two Spider-Men and Doctor Strange have met very, very loosely and briefly in Spider-Man No Way Home, nonetheless, I'm still going to go no. I don't think we're going to see them. I think, look, we've already have enough connection to Spider-Man No Way Home. I don't think they need another one. So I'm going to go with a straight up no on this. Chris, what about you?
I think we'd see Andrew. Or no, excuse me, scratch that. I think we'd see Toby and not Andrew. If that happens. So I'd go 50-50.
Really? You think there's a full 50% chance we get one of these guys?
I think there's opportunity for a nice moment of Strange being like, ugh, you again. And then Cool Pastor being like, you called me, man. I don't know.
50% chance, Rob?
I think 50%, and I'll tell you why. I think that Tobey Maguire hasn't been working as much as he might have liked. And he said, you got to throw me a ball. I'll be in your Spider-Man movie, but you got to throw me something else. Give me something. Give me a little taste that I could do kind of at the same time. I think that he probably was on set. Hey, man, you want to come be in Spider? Yes, I do. Andrew Garfield's a little busy, but I'll do it.
Question, though, with that spell, when it was like no one will remember Peter Parker, are we specifically talking about that Peter Parker or Peter Parkers in general? So will Steven remember any Peter Parkers?
The Peter Parker spell, the original one, affected the other Peter Parkers.
Yeah.
So I got to assume the counter spell probably affected the other Peter Parkers in the same way. So, I mean, Peter still knows he's Peter.
So then this could open up an opportunity, though, for like, no, remember you did this whole thing of like, what the fuck? And then they have to go find little baby Spider-Man.
Yeah, because Doctor Strange himself wouldn't remember this. That's true, too. All right. How about this? Either the Ray Stevenson or Thomas Jane Punisher. Either the Ray Stevenson or the Thomas Jane Punisher. While this was brought up the other day, and I love the idea, I am going to give it a flat no. I think if they're going to do any Punisher stuff, that's bringing in a Punisher from another reality. We've got one of those right now with John Bernthal in his Netflix reality kind of thing. So I'm going to say no, because if they do it, it would probably be Bernthal.
Yeah.
Chris, what do you think?
I would like this very much, but no.
You're going to go with the no on this as well, Rob?
Big no for me, good buddy.
Okay, no's all the way around for the Ray Stevenson Jane. Now, how about this? He is in the MCU canon. Edward Norton's as Dr. Banner Hulk. Now remember, a lot of people forget this. Edward Norton's Hulk is not from another reality, another dimension. He is the MCU. He is the Mark Ruffalo Hulk. They just changed actors. A lot of people forget that. I am sticking with my no, just because, again, it was not a friendly divorce between Edward Norton and Marvel over how Hulk went and all that kind of stuff. I still think that sticks very much in both of their craws. I don't see it happening, so I'm going to go and no on this. Chris?
No, they're not going to stick together for the kids. They're not going to reunite.
Rob?
I'm going to go with a possibly.
Possibly. Why is that?
Well, because I think it would be kind of cool if there's a scene where the
would be.
the David Banners are both looking at each other, or the Bruce Banners, David Banner, the Bruce brothers,
the Bruce brothers.
the Bruce
There's
brothers.
an
They're looking at
angry
each other,
man.
and there could be a really great moment where they're trying to reconcile one another because they both exist in the MCU. That could be a really cool acting moment, or something could have really interesting happened there that visually I think could be fun and neat. And I think, wouldn't it be cool if that happened?
All right. Let's move on to the next one. We talked a little bit about Loki before. What about Kang? In any form you want. But understanding that we've got some stuff going on with Kang there in Loki. We obviously have Kang coming up in Ant-Man 3. There's multiversal kind of stuff at play, time travel, whatever have you. I'm going to go only as high as possible. Because honestly, I think it would make no sense for them to put Kang in this movie whatsoever. But just because of the thematic similarities between what we had in the Loki series and here, I'm going to say not 50-50, but at least possible. Chris, what do you think?
I feel no.
You're going to go no on this?
Yeah, I mean, I know, chat, some of you are like, oh, post-credit. I don't think they're going to bring him in there.
All right, Rob?
He's Quantum Mania, so I think no.
You're going to go no on that?
I'm going to go no.
Okay. We want to take a minute and thank the sponsors of this video, Liquid IV. Now listen, just one stick of Liquid IV added to 16 ounces of water will hydrate you faster and more efficiently than just water alone. It contains 5 essential vitamins like B3, B5, B6, B12, and of course vitamin C, with 3 times the electrolytes as traditional sports drinks. And what makes Liquid IV so effective is the science of cellular transport technology, or CTT. You see, it's designed to enhance rapid absorption of water and other key ingredients into your bloodstream faster and more efficiently. You know, Ann and I get up pretty early in the morning to go to the gym because we can't go to the gym at any other time during the day. And for the last couple of weeks, I have been drinking 1 full glass of water with Liquid IV. And all I can tell you is you can feel the difference during the workout. So go and grab Liquid IV in bulk nationwide at Costco, or you can get 25% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use the code Campea at checkout. That's 25% off anything you order when you use the promo code Campea, that's Campea, at liquidiv.com. Experience better hydration today when you go to liquidiv.com, and remember, use the promo code at checkout, Campea. Let's get on to the next potential candidate here. Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. Of course, he had his big I am Iron Man snap moment. Die, cry, weep, Pepper weeping. Everybody dies, he's gone. But I've always told you he's going to be back at some point. There can definitely be another alternate realities version of Tony's whatever. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to go likely. I'm not going to say absolute, but I think it is likely that Robert Downey Jr. makes an appearance in here as another universe's dimension version of Iron Man. So I'm going to go likely on this. Chris, what about you?
I'm going to go possibly, and it's mostly just for the heartbreak of Tom Holland's Spider-Man not getting to be around him.
All right.
Because that's going to break my little heart if he doesn't get to see his fake dad.
Well, I mean, I don't think Tom Holland's in this movie.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
And so if RDJ is in there and little Tom Holland's just off doing whatever, more Uncharted stuff, it's so sad.
More Uncharted stuff. Rob, what about you? Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man.
No.
But
I do think that Iron Man's going to be in this movie.
Well, that leads us
Played by someone else.
Well, that leads us into the next one. What about Tom Cruise as Iron Man?
Yep.
I'm going to go
100%.
I'm going to go
Ooh.
possibly.
I would go likely.
I'm going to go possibly. You're going to go likely. And Rob, you're going to go absolute?
Full
Yep.
in.
'Cause why
Okay.
not?
Explain for why.
Well, you know, obviously the idea that Tom Cruise was going to play Iron Man all the way back, I think, in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Tom Cruise, look, if he had never played Les Grossman in Tropic Thunder, I would say no, he would never do something like this. I think Tom Cruise is at a stage in his life where he likes to have fun like this. And I'll go on the MTV Music Awards and dance like Les Grossman again. I'll go on the Graham Norton show and talk like Donald Duck. I think that Tom Cruise, if somebody came to him and said, would you do this? I think he's the kind of guy now in his life, hell yeah, give me some cool armor.
All right.
And it gives him an opportunity to be like, I got one more Mission Impossible movie in me. I can, do another franchise movie.
Okay.
He feels the need for Iron Man speed.
We've got a possibly for me. No no's on this one. We got a possibly for me, then one step up, a likely for Chris, and a big step up with an absolutely for Rob. I don't have this one written down, but the discussion about Iron Man is made me think about it. What about the possibility of Don Cheadle and Terrence Howard as the two various versions of Rhodey?
Well, okay, please correct me if I'm wrong. Was it only scheduling for why Terrence was in the next
No.
film?
No.
It was negotiations, right?
No, I don't even know that it was just it probably did come down to money, but there was a lot of hurt feelings.
Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah. Because that's, again, I don't think that was an amicable split.
No, it wasn't.
And I don't think
but,
he'd show back up unless he
time
was like,
heals all wounds.
money heals all wounds.
Money
man.
heals more wounds.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what, though? Don Cheadle has become an MVP player in the movies, and I don't think that they would want to do that to him.
Is that doing something to him, though?
Yeah.
I think it is.
All right.
I think it is. It's one thing. The thing is, Terrence Howard didn't carry a movie that Ed Norton did a whole movie that he starred in as the Hulk. Terrence Howard was always a secondary player in one movie, and I liked him in the movie. But Don Cheadle has become that character throughout multiple films. And they're the same guy, I think, and Don Cheadle's such a well-respected actor, and I just don't think you'd do that to him.
Man, I don't like the notion of like the actor comes before the role or the movie or the story. I think if he's a professional, which he is, I don't think you'd look at that as you're doing this to me. Like it's
I'm not saying that
they're not replacing him.
No, but I think that it really depends. I mean, because there's a level of respect. Like Don Cheadle came in and replaced a dude that he probably knew, playing the same role. He's replacing him in an incredibly lucrative franchise, made a lot of money. And he's done a great job, and he's going to star in Armor Wars. He's doing a, new TV series.
New series.
I think that they would not broach that subject.
I know that I'm not part of this, but I'm going to say 100% N. Like that is not N for nipple. That is definitely not going to happen.
N for nipple.
Yeah, for part of what Robert said, but it's not even about like the actor coming before the role. It's about the fact that this is not a role like Spider-Man, Mr.
The Spiderman, all of them.
Yeah, it's not like Spider-Man where you're going in for a limited time. I'm going to take on the role of Spider-Man for a period of time from this other person, and then someone else is going to take that, take that role from me. This is a role that was always supposed to be Terrence Howard in perpetuity, and then because of the weirdness of the replacement, it just has an icky feeling. There's no, we're getting all the Spider-Mans back together. These are not too different. He's a replacement, and a replacement under not so great conditions. So no, like I'm not hanging out with Tom's ex-girlfriends.
But I mean, nobody felt this way when we discussed Ed Norton.
But Ed Norton carried a movie. He starred in a whole movie.
Wouldn't that make it even more awkward?
I don't think that would happen either.
I think that's why neither of them are going to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think Edward Norton is going to happen
Yeah,
either.
neither do I. All right, let's get on to the next one here. The animated X-Men.
Ugh.
As ridiculous as that may sound on its surface, there is a moment in one of the trailers as they're breaking through realities that you can see that one of the realities that Doctor Strange and America Chavez go through is an animated world. And of course, they just relaunched the X-Men animated stuff, the classic ones up there with Jubilee, woo! Like all that kind of stuff, and does a great Jubilee cosplay, by the way.
Oh, I bet she does.
What do you think? I'm going to say this. I am going to I'm going to give it a solid 50%. A solid 50%. Because what other better way would there be with, in this movie, Patrick Stewart appearing and also using it as another platform just really to announce to the world, the X-Men are coming. Like the real live action X-Men are coming. I'm going to go 50%. Chris, what about you?
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Oh, you're going to give it a full A.
Yeah, we're getting X-Men 97. So, like, why would you not include them in this? It makes all the sense.
All right, we're going to go with it. Absolutely. Rob, what about you?
That's where Wanda put them.
No. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
That's where Wanda
Shut
put
up,
them.
say more.
That's where the X-Men have been
They've
this whole
been
time.
in an animated world.
She sent them. She changed reality.
She said no more mutants, and they all disappeared.
She disappeared. Where would they go? They
My
went
brain
into
just broke.
they went
That's
into
amazing.
unreality.
Dropping some bombs here. Dropping some bombs. All right.
You
we
want
got
madness? That's madness.
We got a 50%, an absolute, and an absolute. All right. We still got a few left here.
That's so good.
Hey, listen, if Patrick Stewart's going to be there.
I mean, if you're going to do this, and Sam Raimi's the kind of guy that would come up with an idea like that. Wanda Maximoff, when she sent the mutants away, the mutants went into unreality, and they're represented through animation.
And especially after WandaVision, with everything being so television based.
Yep.
Yes. It's possible. All right.
Bobbert, you mad genius.
Let's go into
I mean, it's
Patrick
pretty bonkers.
Stewart's
I don't know.
Professor X is here.
The guy who's talking about
What
how
about Magneto? What about Magneto? Now, of course, if you know the original comic book story, Magneto, of course, we know about the ending of it and the role that he plays and all that kind of stuff. Of course, in a different reality, he's Wanda's father. Hasn't been in this one. WandaVision kind of affirmed that Magneto is not her father, but we are talking about a multiverse here where she could have had different versions of a father. I actually thought there was a possibility that Magneto could have showed up in WandaVision. Obviously did not. But with Patrick Stewart here, I'm not going to go absolutely, but I will go likely. I believe it is likely that we are going to get one form, whether it's Ian McKellen, whether it's Michael Fassbender, whether it's another actor entirely. I think it is likely we get a Magneto here. Chris?
I absolutely think he's going to be in there.
Absolutely. Why is that?
Absolutely do. Because this is so much of Wanda's story. And I love the idea of Magneto coming in and carrying her off.
just like at the end of Disassembled.
Yes.
That's what this is. It's Avengers Disassembled, but it's not the Avengers that were disassembled. Well, I guess it kind of was. They were disassembled at the end of Endgame. And what's going to happen is after this battle and Wanda is broken, Magneto is going to come down and take his daughter.
What if it's, let me paint a picture for you. It's a mirror like Phantom Zone portal appears in the sky. And on the other side of the portal, you see the animated X-Men world. And you see that animated Magneto floating towards the portal. And as he comes through that portal, he turns into live action. And it's our live action
We
Magneto
enchant
descending
it.
back down.
We take an enchanted approach.
Is that, yeah, that would kind of be an enchanted approach. Yeah.
I have to tell you,
She's like,
depending
you're
on,
stealing from the cartoon.
that could be dope if done correctly. Because that's where Wanda stuck everybody, including her dad. She changed her whole, because her family, the family. I would even go so far as to say that there was no Sokovia. She created Sokovia. And all of that was out of her mind. And when the changes, there's no Sokovia.
See, that's just, I think that would just piss off a lot of MCU fans about.
Look, if they're going to go big and hard, if this is truly the multiverse of madness, why not change and alter fundamentally?
It could also be, remember, we could be talking about 1,000 different other Wandas out there in their own universes doing things as opposed to just the one that we have in ours.
I mean, it's too much. Look, I don't think that they're going to expect the audience to understand.
But you are going with an A for Magneto.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to go absolute.
Yeah.
You're going to go absolute. I'm going to go
Yeah.
likely. Okay, got a couple left here. Any Inhuman, whether it's Black Bolt, the stupid dog, Medusa. I mean, any of the Inhumans from the Inhumans television series that Kevin Feige seemed to roundly reject and wanted nothing to do with. Because of that, I'm going to give the idea of the Inhumans being in there an absolute no. Kevin Feige has constantly separated himself from that show, wanted nothing to do with it. They were going to do an Inhumans movie, and as soon as Perlmutter said they were doing it, he was like, F that, I'm out. Canceled the Inhumans movie, blah. So while I get it, they were there. I'm going to say that's a hard no because Kevin Feige doesn't acknowledge the existence of those whatsoever. So I'm going to say a hard no. Rob, what about you?
No.
You are also going to go no. Chris, is there at least one possibly in here?
Okay, first of all, his name is Lockjaw, and you respect that.
I do
John.
like Lockjaw.
You respect Lockjaw.
I like Lockjaw.
And all that said, absolutely no. God, that show was so bad.
It was so bad.
It was so bad.
I remember they debuted the first 2 episodes in theaters, like a few days before it aired. And I remember being all excited. I got up and I walked down to the AMC Burbank 16, got some popcorn, and watch this new Marvel show. And I walked out like, what the F did I just watch?
So
It was so bad. Anyway, all right, let's move on to the next one here. Well, if we're going to talk about any Inhumans, what about any characters from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Again, this is the same thing. Kevin Feige has always resoundingly even denied the existence of that show. It was a show that it often referred to the MCU, but the MCU never referred to it. And he has said before, hey, as far as I'm concerned, Agent Coulson died in the Avengers. Done. So the fact that he's already changed the Darkhold, that remember the Darkhold was an agency, it was like, nah, that's not real. This is the Darkhold. So I'm going to say no characters from the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., unless you want to count Samuel L. Jackson, since Samuel L. Jackson did appear over there. A couple MCU characters did appear there, but I'm going to say no. Chris, what do you think? Any chance any of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. regulars could show up in Doctor Strange?
It'd be cool to have Quake, but no.
No, she's too busy
Not making Powerpuff Girls?
not making Powerpuff Girls and going to dinner with whichever Paul brother she's dating at the moment.
Oh,
At least
that's
I think
a
there's.
bummer.
Yeah, that is a bummer. Rob, what about you? Any chance to see an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. character?
I'm going to say Coulson likely.
You say likely.
Yeah, because Coulson started out in the MCU and everyone likes him, and
And
they
this
kind of
would be a different
and they
universe,
kind of
different
ruined him.
dimension, yeah.
Different, I think Coulson could come back. Why
All
not?
right, see that they could just pretend like the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff didn't exist and say this is a Coulson from another universe.
Yeah.
All right, you know what?
I think he, he's a cornerstone character. He was in Captain Marvel.
All right.
Why not?
I like that. Okay. How about this? Quicksilver. And I'll give you a twofer on this. Either version. Either the X-Men version or Wanda's brother, which we already got in WandaVision, that there's still a strong emotional hook she has about her brother and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say likely. And it would be the Aaron Taylor Johnson version. I think it would be the one we've had in the MCU. I will give that one a likely. Again, there's just too much of an emotional connection to that character. So, and the fact that she wanted that character to exist in WandaVision 2, I'm going to go likely. Chris, what about you?
Possibly. I'm only giving it a possibly instead of a likely just because of Craven confusion. Because he's Aaron Taylor Johnson's cast as Craven. And then, oh gosh, what's that other actor's name who's just wonderful as Quicksilver?
Who's also in
X-Men?
Kick-Ass.
Frank
Boner.
He did a great job in the X-Men movies, and I think he's a more beloved version of Quicksilver. So I'd lean more towards him being in it if it is one of her brothers.
All right, Rob, what do you think?
Both are going to be in it.
Absolutely?
Yeah.
You're going to go absolutely. Quicksilver's
Yes.
going to be it.
Because you know why?
Why?
Because there's going to be some kind of a reconciliation there. It's all Wanda's story.
Mm-hmm.
Something's going to happen. And look, that Quicksilver came from, if Xavier's in the movie, and I'll tell you something else, I'm willing to bet you that there's going to be a Quicksilver scene like from the X-Men movies where they do something together in tandem. There's going to be a tandem where they rescue, do one of those things, and one of them is going to get replaced out of existence somehow.
All right. Next one up. This is the one that's probably gotten the most talk and the most chatter. Mr. Fantastic. Now, I will leave this open. I was thinking about making it specific to the John Krasinski Mr. Fantastic, but let's just leave it at Mr. Fantastic in general. There is the Illuminati. We've heard so many rumors. There is talk about John Krasinski. I think this is only the second A I've given on this thing. I will give this one an absolutely. I think when we get into that Illuminati scene, I think we are definitely going to see a version of Mr. Fantastic, whether it's John Krasinski or somebody else. I'm going to go, I feel as sure about that. Actually, that's the one I feel most sure about out of any of them. So I'm going to go with the A on that one. Chris, what about you?
Absolutely. You can't have the Illuminati without Reed Richards. And I'm assured that this character is going to be in there as Doctor Strange is going to be in this film.
Ooh, I mean, that's 100%. 100%. Rob, what about you, Mr. Fantastic?
I second my esteemed colleague sitting over
Oh,
here.
thank you. I'm glad you concur.
And I would go even further. I don't know if, is that done? Is that the end of your list?
No, there's still a couple more.
Oh, okay, then I don't want, because I will give that an a, yes, 100%. And I think there's one other character that goes along with the Illuminati and goes along with Reed Richards.
All right.
That is going to be there.
Next up, Galactus. Now, we have seen Doctor Strange in Doctor Strange 1 deal with galactic level threats with Dormammu, right? So we had that. The possibility has been floated that Galactus may actually be introduced, that, or even somebody mentions that, well, my universe 372D-B1 exclamation point was devoured by the World Eater. It was Galactus. Galactus, you know what? Because of the presence of Dormammu, I'm going to go possible. Like, I actually don't really feel like they're going to be introducing a character like that quite yet, but I'm going to at least go possible on this. Rob, what about you? Galactus.
I'm going to go absolutely, and it's going to be in the post-credit scene. Because once you've brought Reed Richards in, you set up that thing. Galactus is going to be in the post-credit scene, one of the post-credit scenes, somehow.
All right. Chris, what about you?
Are we talking about appearance or simply named?
I'll say appearance, which could be if, one Earth is, one character's revealing about their Earth got destroyed by Galactus in a quick flashback. I'm going to say appearance. Actually see it, even if it's just for a few seconds.
Then I'm going to say no, because I think it is going to be something in passing that's going to be set up later.
Okay. So we got a possibly, a no, and an absolutely. There we go. All right. I think this is our final one. Yes. Namor. The Submariner, I'm pretty sure this is what Rob was referring to earlier.
Indeed it was, John.
I'm just assuming you're going to go absolutely.
Absolutely.
See, I'm going to go 50%. And the reason I'm going to go 50% is like, John, have you heard all the reports? Reports are worth about as much as the toilet paper on my sidewalk out front. Nothing.
Why is there toilet paper on the sidewalk?
I mean,
someone's pooping wrong.
Yeah, definitely. But I would say this. There's still some confusion about what the right situation is with Namor, right? And there's been a lot of false reporting about it, but listen, there are several chairs on that Illuminati that are blocked out of view. Namor is a member in the comics of the Illuminati. He could very well be. So while I don't feel as assured as you, because I'm still a little iffy on the right situation, I've heard no official word on anything. I don't give a shit what other people hear. I haven't heard any official word on it. So, but I will go as high as 50%. I got to acknowledge that there's definitely a possibility there. Chris, what about you? Namor.
One, my variant apparently is answering this one. Chris with a C? Who's she? All right. I think this is an absolute.
You're going to go A on this one.
I think so. Again, Illuminati.
Yeah.
Got to be there.
And it's going to tease his appearance in Wakanda forever.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Some people are also asking, hey, John, what about Venom? I don't really think that's a...
We already got that cameo.
Yeah. So I don't think that's happening. Some people are saying, what was it? Wolverine. We already covered the Wolverine thing. Some others. So yeah. So anyway, there we go, guys. Just a quick rundown for the 21 that we did. For Ben Affleck, I'm possibly, Chris is no, Rob is probable. Captain Carter, I'm absolutely, Chris is absolutely, Rob is absolutely. Hugh Jackman is Wolverine, I'm possible, Chris is possible, Rob is likely. Chris Evans is Torch, no. Chris Evans is Captain America, 50% likely and absolutely. Deadpool, no, 50% and 50%. Loki, possible, no and no. Garfield or Maguire is Spider-Man, no, 50%, 50%. Either of the old Punishers, no, and no. Edward Norton Hulk, no, and possibly. Kang, possibly, no. Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, likely, possible, and no. Tom Cruise as Iron Man, possibly, likely, and absolutely. Animated X-Men, 50%, absolutely and absolutely. Magneto, likely, absolutely, and absolutely. Any Inhuman, no, and no. Any characters from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., no, and likely. Quicksilver, likely, possibly, and absolutely. Mr. Fantastic, absolutely. I think there were only two characters that got straight absolutes, and Mr. Fantastic was one of them. I think it was Magneto and Mr. Fantastic are the two that got absolutelys across the board. And then Namor, 50%, absolutely and absolutely. So, whoo! There you go, guys. That's our little chart there of the possible cameos. What do you think about them? Are there some that you think could be likely that we don't like? Don't just throw some random obscure little one that you don't even think has a chance. But are there any that you think we actually missed out on here that really do have a likely chance of being in it? If you do, jump on down to the comment section below, guys, and let us know your thoughts.